So for a company that is still kind of considered to be a startup company to a degree, even though they've released several generations of their devices, it is slow to be picked up on by the masses. And it is one, if not the top favorite brand of smartphones that I enjoy that are not Pixels. And before I get into all that, welcome back to another video. Thank you guys for joining up and listening to what I have to say. And if you're a member of the channel, big shout out to you because you guys get to see this before everyone else does. But for the most part, everyone's going to see this video. So welcome in. Do me a solid, hit the like button. If you just subscribed, turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a video upload or in fact when I go live. And let's get into today's, well, yeah, let's get into it. And so when I'm not using a Google Pixel phone, one of my favorite brand of phones to use happens to be the Nothing phone. Nothing technology is doing something pretty cool. And while, again, you know, this is one of those brands that's so weird. It's like, you know, I like them and they get heavily criticized by a lot of people and by right. I'm not trying to defend the brand and what they do with their smartphones that other people may say, okay, you know, this is not flagship. This should not be flagship priced. Like, you guys go on and get it. Go ahead and go in on it. But I tend to look beyond those types of things. I mean, you know, of course, I, like you, wouldn't spend huge, you know, amounts of money on the Nothing Phone 3, which is their latest phone. Well, it's their second latest phone. There's a Nothing Phone 3A Lite, I think, or something like that. But anyways, I digress. I wouldn't pay the amount that Nothing is charging for the Phone 3, given you know, the hardware and specifications that it has. But a much lower price, yeah, sure. If I found one for like $400, yeah, definitely would go for it. But you know, the phone that honestly I continue to come back to using just for shits and giggles, really, happens to be the Nothing Phone 1. So this is the first generation that they released, and it still functions. Of course, I do have some concerns, and I will talk about that in this video for the most part. But yeah, the Nothing Phone 1 happens to be the phone that I like to, you know, put my SIM card in and use as my daily driver device from time to time. You know, I don't want to do like a whole spec thing, but just, I guess, you know, just real quick for everybody. If you want to know the specifications of this, display size is a 6.55 inch display. It has 120 hertz refresh. It's an OLED display. So, you know, you do get those deep blacks and everything like that. Snapdragon 778G plus processor. So it's a 700 series processor and not an 800 series processor. There's two variants to it. There's 128 gig storage and 256. Mine's is the 256 of internal storage. And then you got a 4,500 milliamp hour battery, you know, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.0, Type-C port. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and you do have like a RAM booster to extend that using virtual RAM, which is mine is the 8 gig version. So for the most part, that's just like the quick specs that people would need. Well, and then there's the cameras too, and the cameras are, you know, they're two 50 megapixel camera sensors on the back, and then a 16 megapixel selfie cam in the front. They record in 4K 30 frames, 1080p at 30 and 60 frames, you know, with the camera. So yeah, I guess that's like all the specs you guys would need to know. Now, I think I want to go over the concerns first. Right? Because some people might be out there on the market, may find this, you know, someone that was here in the US, ordered one, got one, and is, you know, they're ready to part with it. So they put it up for sale used, right? And you may come across this, you know, like on Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp or something like that. You might be like, oh, this is a really good deal. I'm gonna jump on it and grab it. There are some things that you do need to know about the Nothing Phone 1. First off, it's at end of life, so there's no support for it anymore. You're not going to get Nothing OS 4.0. However, I got a bit of good news, so stay through this video. At the end, I'll tell you what that good news is. If you currently own a Nothing Phone 1, yeah, stay all the way through. But anyways, Yeah, it's at end of life. So it still gets security patch updates. I got one maybe like 2 weeks ago, and it's still on Nothing OS 3.2, which is Android 15 based. And so for the most part, it still functions, really good and whatnot. And then there's the battery. That's a very big concern of mine. Now, I did contact YouBreak which is now owned by Asurion, to see if they would service the phone if I ever needed it serviced. And they said they can. It's just that it's going to be a bit pricey for them to do it, because obviously they would have to understand the engineering of the phone to, take it apart so they can swap a battery out. They would have to order the battery, which, by my guesstimation, would be direct from manufacturer. And of course, Nothing Technologies based in the UK. So obviously that's going to be an imported part that, I'm going to be paying top dollar for. So, how much does this phone mean to me is the question. Am I going to shell out, a good amount of money just to refresh it and keep it going? And I really haven't decided on that too much, but I probably will, just because I'm a nerd, and that's something that, I'm looking at this phone like I just can't let it, go to waste. I got to keep using it. So, but that's just me. Other people might say, hail to the no, and not even spend that kind of money on it. But that's, some of the things I am concerned about with, the Nothing Phone 1. Now, I could go out and find a Nothing Phone 2 or even a Nothing Phone 3. And if those things come around the price point that I want out of a phone from this brand, then yeah, I will definitely pick those up. But I really like using the Nothing Phone 1 as well. And, people will point out, oh, it's iPhone-esque, because of the camera sensors on the back. And you know what? Like, there's a lot of companies that copy, iPhone and everything like that. I like the quirky things. I like the things that are like out of norms that you don't really see so often. And that's where Nothing really kind of like taps into my nerd heart and gets me wanting to actually, buy one of these and use them. The Glyph lights are cool. I mean, they're you can set them to be useful for things that you're going to, like notifications and stuff like that, those types of things. And, if you don't want them lighting up all the time and everything, you can disable the Glyph lights, and then they won't blink and they won't sap battery, because it does eat battery to have your Glyph lights on. But the phone is very playful in so many ways. Nothing OS has all these really cool things, as you guys see from my setup here, my home screen and everything like that. Like, everything has a purpose on this home screen, which is crazy enough as it is, right? Like, I can tell just where my device is sitting at. With the battery widget that looks like that. So you guys can see the battery widget right there, 47% left battery. And, it gives me a little readout if I'm doing good as far as screen management. And what that means is how often am I on my phone? And obviously it says I'm doing a good job not always being on it. So that's what that little widget there is for. And then of course I got a clock widget for the time. So it tells me the time right up here. And then I got the date, right? Today's 22nd. This right here with this arrow up, this is actually a compass. So if I turn it, right, I can use it as a compass. And to me, that's pretty cool. Of course, you got other things like weather widgets down here. So I can get a weather readout. All that stuff is like I said, very useful. Of course, flashlight, toggle it on and off from the home screen. Pretty nice. And then I have my other widgets here, and this one is pretty cool. I'm not gonna play it because then it's it's copyrighted material, but the CFO for Nothing Tech goes on, and he has a podcast, and he goes on daily and just gives us tech news. So my morning routine in the morning is I get up, when I have this phone as my daily driver, I grab the phone, check my emails, and then when I'm getting ready for the day, I just lay the phone down, go to this widget, tap it, and just let the podcast play and listen to what they're saying, what's new in the tech news world. And to me, that's, I'll have that with a cup of coffee. I'll have that, I'll listen to that with my breakfast, and it is so cool. That's a big thing that I like. The user interface with the Nothing Phone 1 and just Nothing phones in general right? Nothing OS user interface. It's idea, it's adaptation of Android, and it's just so superly cool. This is one thing that I really genuinely dig about the Nothing Phone 1 and other Nothing Phone devices. Now, I know the Nothing Phone 3 really kind of changed things up and has that dotted matrix screen on the back of the phone, and some people like it, some people don't. I don't know how I feel about that yet, so I'm not going to comment on that. But I'm just going to say, like the playfulness, is generally the biggest draw that the Nothing Phone 1 has on me, that brings me to continuously come back to using it every now and then, especially when I want like what I call the palate cleansing moment, where I want to step away from Pixel. To be quite honest with everybody who knows that I'm a big fan of Google Pixel phones, but when I got the Nothing Phone 1, I kid you not, I had put down Pixels for almost 2 months and was strictly just using this as my daily driver device. And, as a secondary device for like cameras and stuff like that, I was using the OnePlus 9 along with it. And so like the Pixel was not even secondary. It was like a redheaded stepchild for a couple of months while I was using this. And, I didn't feel hindered. I didn't feel like I lost anything from switching from Pixel to Nothing. And as a matter of fact, it was actually more refreshing because I didn't have a lot of AI shoved down my throat with my Pixel phones. I am a big fan of AI and the advancements in that technology, but you know what? I'm also human too, and sometimes I like to break the chains that these tech devices have on us and just kind of do my own thing away. It's almost like as if I'm detaching from the matrix and just I'm free and out and doing what I want to do. The Nothing Phone 1 just kind of like helps assist with that, because that is the entire point of Nothing technology, is giving you all these things that you get with a smartphone at the tip of your fingers, but not taking you away from life, so you can still be a part of life, enjoy life. And you know what? This is like one of those times where a company that has that mantra absolutely is doing that. It's not blowing smoke up anyone's backsides or anything. It really is, because I look at this and it's like, yeah, it's a nice looking display. It's a nice user interface, and I have the customizations with like the app icons and the widgets and the wallpaper, just kind of for that aesthetics. But then it's like, I don't feel like there's not anything drawing me to say, hey, wake me up, go into this app, doom scroll. I'm not facing none of those things at all whatsoever. So, that's one big ups I give to Nothing Tech, is that when they say that they're trying to help people limit their time that's, spent on their smartphones, they really are. Now another thing that's actually really good about this device is the cameras. The cameras, while they don't beat out my Pixels when it comes to just, raw dog point and shoot, what they do beat out my Pixels is that they have a pro mode where you really can get in there and mess with a lot of the settings. And I think that's like a very important thing for me, being I'm not even a photographer. I just like photography and like to see what I can do as somebody who's not taught anything about photography, just to go out there and shoot with my own eyes what I see and capture. And, this phone definitely assists in that with the pro mode, that I'm able to go in there and, mess with the configurations to try to create these scenes that I'm seeing. Even if it doesn't look like in real life, I can create it. Like I can look at a sunset and maybe the hues in the sky are more of an orange to like a yellowish color. And I can really just change the aesthetics in pro mode and make that sky look more of like a dark red to like, kind of like with a pink ambiance, and snap that photo and post it up. People are just like, wow, that's a pretty good sunset. And it's like, yeah, that's not the original color of it, but messing with those settings in pro mode allowed me to achieve that shot. And I didn't use anything else, nothing editing on the side. So like no Snapseed, none of those things. It was just straight from the cameras in itself. And the cameras have the ability to shoot in RAW mode, I believe. So you do have those options as well. Let's see here. Let's go to the settings real fast. And so these are the settings for the cameras. You got like scene detection, recording light. Yeah, you can watermark it, which is something that I wish that Pixels had to as well. I wish they would allow you to watermark your photos. So, you know, you have Ultra XDR. Is that scene detection recording light? Okay, no, it doesn't shoot in RAW. Maybe I just saw that from something else. But yeah, you know, you have motion in photos. You have the ratios. You can change up the ratios from 4:3, 16:9, full, or 1:1. You got, like, you know, the quality of the shot. You can shoot 12 megapixel mode or 50 megapixel full mode, and then you have the grids on to kind of help you. So you have like all these really cool things here. And like I said, you know, if you go to more, and then you have what they call expert, is a pro mode. You can mess with the ISOs and the white balance, the autofocus, all that to really achieve a good shot. So to me, that's just like awesome when it comes to the Nothing phone. You know, the way that it feels in hand and everything like that, you know, it's pretty decent. It sometimes can feel like it's heavy, like it's bearing down weight on your hand. For the most part, when you first pick it up, you're gonna be like, wow, this is light. But after a while holding it in your hand, and then it starts to get to you, and it causes hand fatigue. But it's not because of the weight of the phone. It's just, you know, these flat rails that all smartphones today have gone to for design. For at least for me, it causes hand fatigue. Other people hate the rounded sides. I prefer those better because I just felt like, you know, they were more ergonomic to my hand to grip and hold, and it didn't cause hand fatigue for me as this one will. Like after a while, holding this will feel like I'm holding something sharp. And I know that's not the intentions of this design. It's not meant to hurt your hands, but it does. At least for me. I don't know. Other people may find this to be more comfortable to hold, so it's more of just like, you know, to each his own. But overall, you know, the Nothing Phone 1 is such a fantastic phone that I really, really enjoy using it. And then, you know, my deepest fear is just being able to maintain it, because things happen, like, you know, charging the charging cable in, and then eventually, you know, that USB could break. The Type-C port could break, and then I'm going to have to go and take it to a repair shop, and they're going to charge up the wazoo because it's not a phone that you can just walk into Best Buy and get. These are imported, so obviously, you know, they don't service these quite often, so they're going to charge a higher rate to fix it, and that is my only worry. So it's like, yeah, it's like owning a supercar. You know, you own a supercar, going to a mechanic, you know they're going to charge you an arm and a leg just to repair it, because it's not a car that consistently goes in there into their shop compared to like what you would get like a Toyota or Ford or something like that. I feel like that's what the Nothing Phone is. Even though this is not a flagship device, from specifications and hardware of what it has, it's not flagship. It's not going to compete against, you know, the S25 Ultra. It's not going to compete against, you know, the iPhone 17. But for the most part, it does good. It does great. User interface, in my opinion, is pretty balanced with hardware. And that's the most important thing when it comes to a smartphone, in my opinion, is the balance between software and hardware. So if you guys enjoyed what I had to say in this video review of the Nothing Phone 1, you guys know what you guys can do. Basically, pop a comment in the comment section of the video, questions you guys may have, emotional outbursts, put it all in the comment section area. I'll check it out later. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Aloha.